Going to hit play.
Yep.
Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode from the Parson Realty Group, powered by Keller Williams Realty West. My name is Eric Woodhone, and on this week's episode, we have the pleasure of speaking with Joe Wirth. He is the owner and franchisees of Craving the Curls rolled ice cream, which is actually a very different concept than your traditional ice cream parlor. Joe, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So first, please tell me, what's rolled ice cream?
Rolled ice cream is something really different and unique. We essentially have a frozen pan that's extremely cold. Then we're going to pour on a liquid form of ice cream, or a melted form, however you want to picture it. And once we pour that on the machine, we're then going to add other ingredients that may be chocolates or fruits or sweets, etc. We're going to chop them all up together, and eventually it's going to become a little more solid and less runny. We're then going to spread it out in a nice square and then scrape it into rolls. And then you kind of get to see it all unfold in front of you. It's something really unique, more centered around the customer experience rather than just the product we're selling.
That's cool. So start to finish, how long does that take to make?
I would say it takes roughly around 2 minutes. Some may go quicker, some may go slower. Just really depends on the flavor and the preparation needed to make it.
That's cool. So to make it in 2 minutes, how cold does that have to be?
The machine hovers around -20 degrees, which is really extremely cold compared to what you would think a normal pan might be.
Yes. Well, this is actually a great idea, great concept. I love it. But what factors led you to open this?
I felt rolled ice cream was something really unique and different, and it would be really up and coming once the word got out. It's still a relatively new concept, especially in the US. There's very few places around that have it. And once we decided we really wanted to open it, I had to look for a location. St. Charles Main Street was really fitting. It's such a unique main street with so many different businesses, so many different festivals that draw so many different types of people, and I felt this concept would go perfect here.
I completely agree with you on that. So how long have you been open?
We opened May 18th of 2019, so just past 6 months ago. It's been going really well. The summer was phenomenal. Every day was really good. We've had a lot of returning customers, built up a good loyal customer base, and we're serving new customers every day.
Oh, that's great. Now, in the time since you've opened, what has surprised you about becoming a business owner?
There's a lot more work behind the scenes that you don't really ever get to see until you get in it. There's so much you have to do each week, so much paperwork, so many bills to pay that you just really don't think about until you have to kind of go through it for the first time. So I would say the first couple weeks and couple months was kind of a struggle to figure out a schedule of when to do everything. Now it kind of comes natural because I've been doing it for 6 months, but that was very surprising, as the work behind the scenes that goes into the business even when you're not open.
Yes, it's a lot harder than you think, but it's still enjoyable.
Yes.
And satisfying at the end too.
Yep, when we have returning customers come back week in and week out, that's probably one of the most enjoyable parts of the job, just getting to see and interact with those people time and time again, as well as just serving new people who have heard about us and made an effort to come to Main Street just for us too.
Yep, that's awesome. Now, looking at your menu, it's a great menu. It's got a lot of variety here. If you guys come out, you will see it. They have tons of different options. You can go several times without repeating the same order twice. But what would you say is the most popular?
Our most popular is peanut butter brownie, so we mix that with either vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream, or coconut milk based ice cream. And then we're going to put 2 brownies on the machine and drizzle over peanut butter. At the end, we chop it all up and spread it out. We're going to add another thing of peanut butter to it before we scrape it into your rolls. And that has just become our best seller time and time again, week in and week out. It's just a really unique flavor that has the right amount of peanut butter with the right amount of chocolate to really get you a nice solid flavor.
That's cool. Now, aside from the regular menu, you do have weekly specials that you do?
So every week we have a new flavor of the week that's featured just for that 1 week long. Sometimes they'll come back throughout the year. A lot of times they're going to relate to a holiday or a festival coming up. This week we have Grandma's Banana Pudding. We did that earlier in the year. I believe that was our first or second flavor of the week, and it was really popular years, so we brought it back. Next week, we're going to be doing a peppermint hot chocolate to kick off Christmas traditions here on Main Street. I think that's really going to be a popular one, and we've just done some really neat ones throughout the year. A few weeks ago, we partnered with actually a cookie place down the street, Grandma's Cookies, and we took their Snickerdoodle cookie and added it to our ice cream to kind of do a local collaboration and really bring Main Street together.
That is a great idea. Keep coming in.
Yeah, we got a lot of new business out of that from people who were fans of Grandma's Cookies but had never heard of us or had never been here. That led them to coming in to try it out.
Right. Absolutely. Now, you had already mentioned being on Main Street is a phenomenal location. But what were the biggest factors that led you to come?
The biggest factor, I would say, was just purely foot traffic. We needed an area that could supply a high amount of foot traffic to get enough customers in the door. You know, we knew after we opened we would maybe become more of a destination place where, you know, people might come to Main Street just for us, but the initial factor was we wanted the most amount of people walking by our store as possible. And so we looked at a couple areas in St. Louis, but none even compared to the amount of foot traffic St. Charles Main Street would bring, especially during these festivals throughout the year. I mean, there's so many thousands of people down on Main Street, and that's really just what led us here.
And like you said, some people come every week and some come once a year.
Yeah, for sure. Some people might come to Main Street once a year, but if they come here and try us out, they might be more inclined to come on back to Main Street more than once just to come get some ice cream.
Right. Well, aside from Main Street itself, as we know is amazing, what do you love about St. Charles?
St. Charles is just a great community. It's a really safe area. It's a nice suburban just place. There's so much here. I mean, Main Street is filled, but even outside of Main Street, there's so many different parts of St. Charles that living here, I've been here since January and I still haven't explored all of St. Charles just because there's so much to do here. I really love the people. It's just a really family-oriented place, and that's what our business is. It's a family-oriented business, and that's why St. Charles matched up really well with Main Street, because there's just so many families here to come down to Main Street and visit and get ice cream and interact with. So I would say it's just a really a great area to be at.
Now, personal question.
Yep.
Mine. Since you've been in business, tell me something memorable that you've done that made an impact that you've had with a customer that you're never going to forget.
Well, I would say, so I went to college down in Murray State University in Murray, Kentucky. It's about 4 hours away from here, an 8-hour round trip. And I had one of my professors near and dear to me.
We're going to do that again. That way, we're going to start that.